Right, so are we good? Are we live? I think we are. Hello all and welcome back to the Women's Football Chat Live. Tonight, the Women's Champions League quarter-finals continue as Barcelona take on Wolfsburg. It's going to be a really interesting game this. We saw yesterday two exciting 2-0 matches as Real Madrid beat Arsenal and as Lyon beat Bayern. But here, we've got Wolfsburg welcoming Barcelona. It's a repeat of the 2023 finals. It should be a really interesting game, Harry.
Yeah, very much so. We had a brilliant night last night, and I think tonight has the kind of lineup to be even better. Two winners of the Champions League before, two sides that will have ambitions to go on and go deep in this tournament and get their hands onto that trophy once again. Barcelona looking very good, back-to-back winners, looking to make it 3 in a row, looking to win their 4th title. They, of course, are definitely in there as the favourites, but Wolfsburg are a side that knows what it takes to win big games like this, knows what it takes to go all the way and win this trophy. So it's not going to be as easy for Barcelona as people think. Wolfsburg on their day can cause a lot of teams issues. Can they get it right tonight? Can they use that home crowd to try and just jeer them on a little bit and give themselves a positive result? We saw how Real Madrid last night have managed to use that home advantage and get a big result going into the second leg. If Wolfsburg can get a draw or get a win to this evening, it sets them up really nicely going into next week.
Yeah, it's one of those where, I mean, undoubtedly Barcelona are the favourites coming into this game. You'd have to be stupid to think otherwise. They've won 3 of the last 4 European titles, and I think, it's quite obvious they're the strongest team right now. But they are in a year where they've struggled a little bit with the transition from Geraldes to Pere Romeu. We've seen them lose domestically, which is unheard of. And we even saw them losing the Champions League as well to Man City in the opening match day. So it's not like they've been infallible this season, and Wolfsburg are hardly slouches. They're a side who've ran Bayern Munich quite close this season in the Frauen Bundesliga. They're a side who have a quality across the field and still look incredibly sharp despite losing Lena Oberdorf and Eva Payot last summer. And of course, Payot in particular adding a bit of extra spice to this matchup.
Yeah, it's always a very interesting circumstance when a player comes up against their former club, but I'm sure for Payot it will be business as usual. She was a top player at Wolfsburg. It's the reason Barcelona picked her up, and I think she'll be hoping that she can help her new club get a big win tonight. But as you say, Wolfsburg, they're a really good side. I think before that loss to Bayern Munich at the weekend, they were only 3 points off top in the Frauen Bundesliga, so credit to them. The fact they've lost that game, now they're 6 points off. I think they'll really be eyeing up this Champions League now. Yes, it's a really tough tie against Barcelona, but they will believe they can get something from this game. Who knows? It's one of those where it would be considered a shock, but at the end of the day, with some of the players they've got, they can cause a lot of problems for Barcelona. And as we saw what Man City did earlier in this season, it was very good defensive football. That counter-attacking play really caught Barcelona out. And I think we'll see something similar from Wolfsburg tonight, is that they will sit deep, absorb a bit of pressure, but once they can get going, once they get the ball themselves, they're going to get players in that front line running at Barcelona.
And Barcelona without a few players tonight. No Claudia Pina in the side, no Ona Battier. So they've got players missing. Fridolina Rolfo drops to the bench as well, so a bit of rotation there. But they've got a few players missing. I still don't think they are weak in any sense of the word. But that will have a slight effect.
Yeah, it will. It's still a ridiculously strong side, but I do think that defensively it could be very interesting with no Battier at right back tonight. And with Rolfo being rotated, don't get me wrong, Esme Brooks is a phenomenal fullback, but it's not Rolfo, so that's a positive that Wolfsburg have got to take tonight. But I do think that there could be a couple goals in this game. I really do, for both sides.
Yeah, and also you've got Irene Paredes and Mapi Leon, who are still fantastic players, but we saw in the Olympics Irene Paredes starting to age a bit now. I think still good players, but they're not infallible. And so I think there's a chance that if Wolfsburg can break quickly, they can exploit that. So it's going to be interesting tonight to see what happens. And let's start then by looking at the sides. We are, of course, in Germany to start at the Volkswagen Arena in Wolfsburg, Germany. So we'll start with the home side. It's a 3-4-3 for Wolfsburg. In goal, Borbay. A back three of Wilms, Dijkstra and Janina Minge. Across the four, it's Linda, Huth, Latvine and Wedemeyer. And then the front three, Lynette Berenstein on one side, Jule Brand on the other, and leading the line, Alexandra Pop.
Wow, that is a lot of power in that front line, and that's what I mean when I say there could be goals tonight. A front three for Wolfsburg that has caused a lot of teams problems this season. It's a really nice mix. You've got Brand and Berenstein, who are really quick, very talented players, and then the experience of Alexandra Pop could be absolutely crucial in games like this. That got to use her experience, got to use her smart. What I like about Pop, I think she's a brilliant finisher, but as she's got older, it's the smart side of her game that has really benefited her. She hasn't got that incredible burst, that incredible speed anymore, but it's being smart about it, being very, very quick with the ball, and just making the runs at the right time rather than wasting energy that has really helped her. So. She'll be a handful for that Barcelona centre-half partnership, and I'm very intrigued to see what they can do because, as we've seen, top strikers, Khadija Shaw caused them problems. Pop will look to do the same tonight.
Yeah, definitely so. Paul saying, hello, will they be playing on a pitch today or in a field? Conditions were bad yesterday. They were indeed. I think that's been very well documented now. But yeah, Wolfsburg, they look good in that front line. I do just worry about their defensive midfield. Yeah. I think we saw a lot of people, after we put out our preview, talking about Wolfsburg and their lack of strength at the back, and I think a few criticising Tommy Strutt for that. So we'll see, but given the quality as well that Barcelona have in their attacking line, it could be very difficult for Wolfsburg's back line. And let's have a look then at the visitors. In goal, it's Catalina Cole, a back four of Fernandez, Paredes, Leon, and Esme Brugts, a midfield three of Aitana Bonmati, Patrick Gallardo, and Alexia Puteas, and a front line of Caroline Johansson, Eva Payor, and Salma Paraluelo. Ridiculously good team.
Yeah, it's an incredibly good side. The firepower in the front line, the orchestration of the midfield is absolutely phenomenal, and the back line is where I have my questions tonight. Yes, I think it's a good. Obviously, it's still an incredible back line, one of the best centre-half partnerships in the world. But Fernandez coming in at right back is a potentially an area that Wolfsburg will look to punish, and Esme Brooks is a very, very good fullback. But similarly to, I think she's a little bit more defensive than Rolfo, but overall, they both like to play quite high. They both want to bomb on and get involved, which could be somewhere where Wolfsburg look to target. Again, we talk about that transition, we talk about that turnover. If Wolfsburg can win the ball back and get bodies forward, they can try and catch Barcelona out tonight. I think that's going to be their best bet because this Barcelona side, with that midfield composition, they're going to have a lot of control on the ball. They're going to be dictating the tempo and looking to get the balls into the likes of Payor and Paraluelo. So they look very, very dangerous, Barcelona. Of course they do. They're one of the best sides in the world. But Wolfsburg they'll be optimistic, I think, going into tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's every reason Wolfsburg believe they can get a result from this evening. Maybe not the tie overall, but even so, football is football, and anything can happen. And if they get a good enough result tonight, then they go away to the Louis Campanis next weekend and next midweek, and they look at trying to get a result. So, it's you never say never in football, but based on the quality Barcelona have, it's difficult to see Wolfsburg getting through two legs against them.
Yeah, it is. Even tonight, at the big stadium in the Bundesliga as part of the men's side, it's great to see. It's going to be a big crowd. There's going to be a lot of noise for this Wolfsburg side, and that can potentially be the difference in big games like this. But unless they get an incredible result tonight, and by that I mean if they score, if they somehow manage to win by 2 or 3 goals tonight, which I think would be an absolute miracle. I think that even if Wolfsburg nick a 1-0 victory, Barcelona should have enough to turn it around next week. So yes, they could do the job tonight, but will they do it across 2 legs? Who knows? But all they can do is focus on tonight and put themselves in the best position possible. A draw, a win, obviously puts them in a really good spot in the tie. But again, I think similar to what we said about Bayern when they played Lyon last night, it's about keeping yourself in the game. Do not lose tonight by 2 or 3 goals and end up giving yourself a lot of work to do.
And ultimately, Bayern didn't really do that. They kept it tight for a while, but they were 1-0 down at half-time. Could have been 2-0 down if Lindsay Heaps had scored a penalty and then obviously went on to lose 2-0. And I think Lyon in that position, going into a home leg, should be fine now. So that's what Wolfsburg will be looking to avoid. They need a positive result today, realistically, if they want to get anything out of this tie. But I think there is reason to believe they could get a result against Barcelona tonight. It's going to be very difficult, very, very difficult side out Barcelona. We're well aware of that. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see. P3 Mazza wants to stream saying we're not playing at the Louis Campanis. We'll be playing at the Johan Cruyff Stadium. We've got a conflict with the men's match. Oh, okay. So moving to the reserve pitch then, I'm guessing. Because obviously, Barcelona men aren't able to play at the Camp Nou this season.
Oh, yeah.
Due to it being renovated.
Well, hopefully that the Johan Cruyff pitch isn't like the Real Madrid pitch we saw last night.
I don't think it is, to be fair. I think the women's side have played there.
Good. Finally, not really like a mud bath. But yeah, I think tonight's going to be very, very big. And credit,
find a worse pitch to be fair than the Real one last night.
But credit to Wolfsburg, credit to Chelsea and obviously Barcelona kind of, can't allow. But it's good to see the sides playing in the big venues. Like again, Man City, Chelsea times at the Joey. You know, it's a Champions League quarter-final between two of the biggest sides in the league. Throw it. I mean, I know Chelsea have got a long way to travel, which could be a factor in it, but throw it at the Etihad. No one's playing football there right now. So it's good to see Wolfsburg trying to pack out as much of the men's ground as they possibly can.
I think the problem is, of course, City are playing Chelsea at the Etihad Stadium on Sunday, I believe.
That would get quite boring, wouldn't it? Yeah, just keep.
So at least it's a slight change of scenery.
Different ground, it could make a difference. You never know.
Well, yeah, that is at the Etihad. So at least all 4 games are at different stadiums.
Yeah, I have to say I love the ominous green light in the Wolfsburg tunnel. I think Michael van Gerwen's walking out, and yes, Seven Nation Island's gonna start playing in a minute.
What is so strong about the Wolfsburg sport is that the colour is so poignant.
Yeah,
it helps when teams have a strong colour. I mean, Barcelona, you've got that red and blue. You know, but I think in England it kind of gets lost because nobody wears the club colours anymore.
Yeah, but even like Barcelona and Lyon, they're very, very samey colours. But with Wolfsburg and Barcelona, you've got the red and blue versus the stark contrast of the green.
Half and half scarf. I don't like half and half scarves, but in terms of wearing it on the ground, but they are a nice bit of memorabilia. And a Wolfsburg Barcelona half and half scarf would look good, to be fair.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a big game. I think that Wolfsburg, it will be to keep yourself competitive. Barcelona will come into this with that mentality to kill this game off, put it to bed, make it comfortable for yourself next week. Go and win by 2 or 3 goals and show everyone that you're not here to be messed with.
Yeah, we will see. Go in 1GP says they won't get anything past us again. We'll have to wait and see. And Sapphire says, interesting, Jana Fernandez has been given the chance. Brooks doesn't surprise me though, she's been better than Rolfo this season. That is crazy. Rolfo is a hell of a player, but Esme Brooks, yeah, also very, very talented.
It's a hell of a selection.
It's a difficult choice, isn't it?
What a choice to have. But yeah, Fernandez brought in tonight. I think obviously they would have probably preferred to have Battier, but obviously with her being out, it presents a really good opportunity. And it's as much as Wolfsburg will look at it and go, is that their weak point? It's a great opportunity for Fernandez to come in and prove that she is, a top quality player.
Yeah, indeed. And the players out on the field now, listening to the UEFA anthem. So, Harry, let's get into some predictions for today's game. Of course, if you're watching along, get involved in the live chat. Give us your predictions. We'll start here in the studio, Harry. What is your prediction for today's game?
I think that Wolfsburg will make a very, very good go of it, but at the end of the day, I can't look past the quality of Barcelona. I will go 2-1 to the away side. I think Wolfsburg will take the lead through, I'll go UWCL. And they'll lead 1-0 at half time, but in the second half, I think that Barcelona will come back at them, and it will be goals from Eva Payor against their former side, and a goal for Tyler Bonmati, of course. I think it'll be quite a good goal. It'll be one of those where it's a tight game, it's 1-1, but a Bonmati Perla is going to win Barcelona this match.
Yeah, I could definitely see it. I am going to upset all the Barcelona fans in chat to start. I'm going to back the upset because I fancy it. I'm going to go Wolfsburg 2, Barcelona 0. But don't click off, Barca fans. Just a prediction. I will say a goal for Lynette Berenstein and a goal for... I'm going to go Alexandra Pop as well. If they're going to score tonight, I think Pop's definitely going to be involved somehow. But 44 votes in the live chat, 64% think Barcelona will win. That doesn't surprise me in the slightest. 30% going Wolfsburg and 7% going for a draw. Of course, remember, if you want to get involved, put a score prediction in the live chat and we'll talk through it as we get prepared to get underway here at the Wolfsburg Arena.
I just think that even if Wolfsburg make a game of it, even if they contest, I don't know. But there's an inevitability about Barcelona. It's even when they're up against it. It's the same we've seen with Chelsea. It's the same we've seen with Lyon at times this season for both those clubs. Is even when they're up against it, they still manage to get a result.
But that inevitably could come in the second leg. They could lose this 2-0 in the second leg 3.
Yeah, that is a very good point. So let's see what happens. It's a really, really strong crowd.
It's good to see.
Really well done to Wolfsburg. But that's what they do. They have got a massive following. That's why they put it in the big stadium. They've got a drum. They've got green lights. It's brilliant. It's a good atmosphere.
I think it makes a difference as well that the men's Wolfsburg side haven't played Champions League football now in a good few seasons. And they've got a women's... haven't won anything for a while now.
Yeah.
And you've got the women's side who are competing for the Frauen Bundesliga, who are in the Champions League quarter-finals, and an international break as well. It massively helps attendances. So it's good to see. We're going to see. Emily Moxham wants the stream says, hey boys, how are you? I think it'll be Wolfsburg 2, Barcelona 2. Love the prediction. Predicting an upset as well. Phil saying that was my prediction. 2-0. Berenstein on the break. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good to see you, Phil. And Michael Mandela, welcome to the stream as well. Lots of people hopping in for this early action, and make sure, of course, to join us later this evening for Chelsea Man City. But now, at the Volkswagen Arena, we are about to get underway. Waiting for the referee's whistle. She blows. No. She doesn't. She pretends to blow. Now she will, and we're underway here in the Volkswagen Arena. Barcelona getting us started in this quarter-final first leg against Wolfsburg. And it should be a really interesting tie this evening as Barcelona continue their defence of the Champions League. And early on here, Jana Fernandez getting involved. Now Aitana Bonmati down the line into Hansen. Hansen going to be forced back here. And that's back now to Mape Leon.
Tonight, or this tie overall has I feel like could be the real kind of stereotypical, incredible Champions League tie where in the first leg it's an absolute humdinger, it's a brilliant result, there's loads of goals and it's an absolute UWCL classic. But then in the second leg, the better side win 1-0 and they win the tie overall. I can definitely see this could be like 3-2, 3-3, and then I can definitely see Barcelona just getting the job done at home and this game kind of just being a bit of a free hit and a brilliant watch as a neutral.
Yeah,
I might just be being optimistic to watch a brilliant game, but
it's 4-0 Barca.
Yeah.
Here's Brooks. Paralluelo. Now Puteas looks to go back to Paralluelo. Useful interception there. Important interception from Linda. Now Latvine. Back to Linda. Pass forwards. Finds Eula Brand. Tries to take it past Bonmati and that doesn't come off. Brand does recover though and Wolfsburg are back in possession. Ball down the line. Out onto well by Linda. Now Pop will slide it through. Berenstein will go across the challenge, but it'll be Paredes who gets there easily. And now Barcelona have possession once more. Catalina Cole.
Yeah, it felt like that ball from Pop was kind of just put in between Berenstein and Brand didn't run, and Berenstein had gone very central, so it ends up going to neither of them. I think Pop just had to make a decision and work out who she wanted to play it to.
Yeah. Leon. Now Paredes. Ball goes wide into Aitana Bonmati. Bonmati, lovely skill to take the ball inside. Now Gallardo. Here's Paredes. Fernandez. Bonmati again. And it's going to be interesting to see how Barcelona transition from these possessional spaces into more dangerous attacking phases. I think when I've watched them this season, that has been the biggest issue in the big games. I remember the first game against Man City. They do come forwards now. Fernandez's cross blocked and cleared away there. I think that's their weakness against Man City, and that's what Wolfsburg will look to try and cause again. Was that they'd get into settled possession, but then struggle to then penetrate Wolfsburg.
Yeah, and it's going to be difficult tonight. Wolfsburg, it very much looks like a 5-2-3 more than a 3-4-3. Wing backs are sitting very deep. That's a clumsy foul to give away from Wiedemeyer early on. Yeah, Wolfsburg, it's going to be very deep. It's going to be very patient and just absorb pressure. Let Barcelona have the ball. But don't let them score.
Yeah. That's the crucial thing. Halo Demo, welcome to the stream, and Lucky as well. Good to see you all. Barcelona, free kick in a good area here after 3 minutes then. And they're just discussing here how to make the best of this situation. It looks like it will be Hansen to take. Waiting for the referee's confirmation. Hansen leaves it. Leon will take. Puts it in towards the goalkeeper. Too close, though, to the goalkeeper. Playing well by Borva. And now they'll look to break quickly here. Wolfsburg and Barcelona caught high up the field. Here's Berenstein. And that's a good challenge there. Jana Fernandez just putting the pressure on the back of Lynette Berenstein. Forcing the mistake, and Barcelona have the ball back.
Yeah, we're seeing that transitional threat that Wolfsburg could pose. Berenstein, I think what's going to happen, that ball in behind has to be a foot race. Don't try and let Berenstein hold it up. Let her burst past Fernandez, and she should have that pace advantage. But Wolfsburg proving threatening. Barcelona just got to be careful.
I mean, plays that down the line. Paralluelo up against Linda here. Linda sticks with her. Now Paralluelo looking to take her on. Delivered into a dangerous area. Not dealt with well there by Dijkstra. Is taken away, though, from Caroline Graham-Hansen by an important interception from Wiedemeyer. Now she's got to deal with Hansen again. Jana Fernandez now. And Bonmati. Gallardo. Now Fernandez. Back to Aitana Bonmati. Fernandez again. Has an option down the line. Oh, I think she has an option down the line. Not sure who she tried to play it to there, but Wolfsburg will get that ball clear. Pop holds it up nicely. Plays it into the path there of her teammate. Unable, though, there to make anything of it, Latvine.
Yeah, again, hold up from Potts could be absolutely crucial tonight. If she can trap that ball and try and just hold on to it, take a bit of pressure off Wolfsburg. She's the outball. Get the ball into Potts' feet. Let her hold it up and see if you can use it. Just help relieve some pressure.
Yeah, indeed. And now here is Eula Brand. An important tackle again there from Fernandez. Bonmati. Now Patrick Gallardo. Here is Paredes. Now Mape Leon. Brooks. And that's a pass poked away from Salma Paralluelo.
Yeah, just Wolfsburg are doing well. They're not allowing Barcelona to have to completely dominate the ball, but they've got to be careful because again, if Barcelona start getting these passes right, they're going to start to move this ball around really nicely. But it's a well-measured approach. I think Wolfsburg have to start doing better when they do have the ball, though.
Back now to Borba. Sends it forward. Eula Brand brings that ball down brilliantly.
What a touch.
And now we'll bring others into the game. Dijkstra lifting it in behind. Important interception there as it's headed away by Irene Paredes. And now Gallardo carrying it forward, tries to play it into the right wing. Unable to find Hansen. It's cut out by Eula Brand. Wolfsburg trying to come forwards. Wedemeyer loses possession. Big tackle from Janina Minch.
Yeah, this game's really, really tasty. A couple of tackles flying in here and there. Neither side can really get a foot on the ball at the moment. But if you're Wolfsburg, you probably don't mind that. Like, a bit of a frenzy.
Like I said, I wonder if Bonmati gets bored of playing in Spain. She needs more of a challenge. I wouldn't be surprised if she looked to move into the NWSL, considering the money that's out there and the fact that she's achieved all she can really at Barcelona. Fernandez. Hansen. It depends where her priorities lie. If she wants the challenge, if she wants to prove that she can do it in another context, then yeah, I think she could move. But if she wants to just win the Liga F every year and claim the Champions League every year at the moment, then I think she'll stay at Barca. Gallardo. Knocks it out to Caroline Graham Hansen. Now plays it into Bonmati in the half space. Good tackle. An important tackle from Eula Brand, who's contributed more defensively in the opening stages here than she has in the final third. But a big contribution there as she prevents Bonmati.
Yeah, Brand and Bernstein, their defensive work's going to absolutely matter because with Wolfsburg looking more like a 5, the Brand and Bernstein are having to get back in, they're having to track the run of the fullback, and they've done it quite well so far. But it's going to be important that not only can they track back and get in, but they're going to have to burst away when they get the opportunities.
It's Mape Leon on this corner then. A ball in, and that's going to bounce it around in the penalty area there. Barcelona unable to capitalise on that though. Hansen. Now Leon. Back to Hansen. With time to put the cross in here. And she'll put that on top of the keeper. Borba, who pushes it over the bar though. And that was a ball, an enticing ball into the box from Hansen.
Yeah, really well read by Borba. Does well. It's a good ball in. Just puts it on top of the goalkeeper. Yeah, she definitely has to. She does well. Reads it. Tips it over. I mean, it would have been one hell of a goal, even if it was accidental, from Hansen, but well watched by the goalkeeper. Couple of that now, but these Barcelona crosses are being put right on top of the Wolfsburg keeper.
Another one now from the other side. Hansen goes short into Leon, back to Hansen, who's got time to put this delivery into the box now. It's headed away by Wolfsburg, and they'll look to break. Huth tries to get there. Bonmati will get there first. Huth still charging her down, and that's a great tackle there to stop Bonmati, but she's frustrated she's not kept that in play.
I mean, I love that, the fact she's still frustrated herself, despite the fact that, she did very well to get out there and close that down. Really good work rate.
Paralluelo. Now Paredes. I think she's aware if you give Barcelona anything, then they can capitalise.
Yeah. You give Bonmati half a yard, she's going to take it and score.
Now Jana Fernandez.
Well managed so far from Wolfsburg.
Paredes. Now Leon. Paredes again. Now Yana Fernandez. Waiting for a forward option. Plays it to Aitana Womati, and that's a poor pass. It's picked off by Pop. Pop, though, trying to rush, trying to play it quickly. Pass is picked off. Gallardo now with the ball in behind, looking for Paralluelo. And that's not dealt with there by Vims. Cut back there by Paralluelo. Cleared away by Dijkstra. Touched on there by Huth. Leon, though, will get there and knocks it back towards our goalkeeper. Comes off Beerenstein and out for a throw.
Yeah, again, the work rate from Wolfsburg is really strong so far, but it's gonna be tough to keep this up all night.
Well, that's the thing, they've got to keep it up. But it's tough to maintain that standard. Because the players will tire. Barcelona will do that to a team. There's some sort of stoppage here.
I think they are and look at something.
Of course.
Not quite sure what they're having a look at.
VAR, which we didn't really see in operation.
No.
In either of the games last night. Obviously, it did end up giving the penalty, though. That's quite a big call.
Potential penalty check.
In the Lyon-Bayern game. Not even sure this is for. I don't see any protests. Hopefully, we'll get a video of it soon.
I'll say no protest whatsoever from anyone in a Barcelona shirt. So I'm not sure what they've seen.
And they will play on, so no idea what that was even for. Puteas pokes it across to Aitana Womati. Now to Hansen, who will take aim, drills it across goal. Payor almost got there. And now the clearance comes off Hansen and it's into the gloves of Borba.
Another just a bit. I can't tell where Hansen tried to pass or shoot, but just puts it into a dangerous area and Wolfsburg get away with one. It's a little bit messy, but they do deal with it. Just got to the settle.
Fizzed into her there by our goalkeeper. Brilliant turn from Eula Brand and slots it through the legs of Hansen. Finds Huth. Huth now out wide to Pop. Pop tries to deliver it. That is blocked by Yana Fernandez. But Wolfsburg for the first time tonight are into Barcelona's final third.
Yeah, momentous occasion.
Wedemeyer now goes backwards. Yanina Minge. Wedemeyer. Nice touch, turn and pass into Alexandra Pop. Pop tries to put it in the box. Not dealt with enough by Paredes, but not convincingly. Strong from Beerenstein. Now Pop will compete. Yana Fernandez clears her lines. Minge keeps the ball in rotation. Wedemeyer tries to touch it on. But it is now back with the defence for Wolfsburg, and Wilms will go all the way back to Borba. Now Dijkstra. Borba.
This is what Wolfsburg need. A spell on the ball, a positive spell just to settle into this game.
Here's Wedemeyer. Touch inside to Brand. Brand has a bit of space to exploit here. We'll go in behind there, looking for Wedemeyer. And that wasn't convincing. Fernandez to Paredes, who just about gets it back to Catalina Cole. But they've brought a bit of franticity into this game. Wolfsburg, they're making life a little bit more difficult than it should be for Barcelona.
They're also coming down this left-hand side every single time they get the ball. They are targeting Yana Fernandez.
Yeah, here's Bonmati. Now out wide to Hansen. Here is Yana. Brian says mystery VAR is the worst VAR. Well, I'd love to know what that was for. Leon. Ava Payor now posted to Paralluelo. Paralluelo puts it into the box. Borba, really good goalkeeping.
Yeah.
Springs off a line and catches it.
Does really want to not only pounce on it, but to hold on to it as well, because if she parries that, she parries it into on-rushing Barcelona attackers really well to come out and claim it.
And now they'll play out. Well, we're sending it long. Pop will compete for it. Going to fall in there for a 50-50 between Fernandez and Brand. Fernandez commits with the header and wins it. Hansen manages to get away with that. Almost lost it to the tackle from Alexandra Pop. So it feels like Pop is also playing a deeper role tonight. And it's Lynette Beerenstein who's leading the line for all intent, or is the most advanced attacker at least, even if she is technically playing as sort of the right side of a very narrow front three.
Yeah, I think it is a front three, but Pop just drops in and lets Brand and Beerenstein run past her almost.
Brilliant step up there from Minge. Now Brand plays it back into Wedemeyer. Now Borba. Sends it long. Unfortunately, Brand unable to keep that in touch.
Right idea, that ball's going direct to Brand every time. Which, again, they're targeting that Brand versus Yana battle.
Yeah, Huth brings it down. Brand trying to draw the foul there of Hansen and does so successfully. Much the frustration of Barcelona.
Yeah, smart that from Janssen. Again, it's one of those where it's not much in it, and Hansen's blindsided, so she doesn't know that she's going to jump in front of her as she goes to kick it. But really,
and now Brand in possession. Finds Bieren's team, pokes it through towards Wedemeyer. Would have been offside, but pass is misplaced regardless. Now Barca in possession. Fernandez. Crossfield switch towards Leon. Now it's played into Paraluelo, though. That was a quite obvious handball. And Paraluelo will just delay the restart slightly there.
Yeah, just misreads the bounce and ends up just bringing it down with her hand.
Yeah.
Probably one of those cut and dry handballs you're going to see tonight. Well, hopefully anyway. But yeah, first 15 minutes. And I think this is what we expected. Wolfsburg are here to compete, and that's exactly what they're doing.
So the ball will go forwards now, looking for Pop. Pop gets the flick on. Beerenstein believes, but it's Paredes who deals with it well. Now Leon. Bruggs. Nice poke forwards into Putas, who loses it in there, but it falls back into Barca possession. Putas now. Here's Aitana Bonmati. Players left and right as Barcelona swarm forwards. Out to the right-hand side now with Hansen. Bonmati makes the overlapping run. She'll pick out her teammate. But that is a good block there as the crosses. I know it's just a poor ball. Looked like it may have taken deflection, but it's actually just a poor ball in from Bonmati.
Yeah, she didn't quite catch it right. Perhaps put off by the flying tackling from Wedemeyer.
Bernie watched the stream as well. Good to see you saying evening, gents. Welcome to the stream, Bernie.
Yeah, it's going to be a good evening. I mean, to have this game to be then followed up by Man City Chelsea is absolutely incredible. And I think if we weren't watching Man City 4 times in a row, it would feel like a really, really incredible tie. But the second of the 4 chapters that we have still got to write between Manchester City and Chelsea.
Indeed, and we'll have at least 5 meetings, potentially 6 between the two sides this season.
Crazy.
Beerenstein almost got there. That pass back to Paredes didn't have a lot on it. Now Mbappe Leon. Cole plays it into Paredes, and that's a bit too aggressive from Wolfsburg in the press.
Yeah, you got 2 players running at the goalkeeper when she's got 3 options. It's never you're never going to win that.
And she just played it between the 2 options.
Yeah.
To 2 pressers. And that just completely plays to the first line of press. Barca have slowed it down though, which is nice of them. Fernandez. Bonmati. Back to Fernandez. Tries to lift it in behind and we'll find Hansen. Wants to take on Wedemeyer. That ball's better. Headed away in there. Well by Linda.
Yeah, really good defending at the back post. Paraluelo lurking behind her. Does well just to head it out for a corner. But another teasing ball in from Graham Hansen.
Yeah, indeed. A fantastic player is Hansen. Someone I think is massively overlooked. I think if Barcelona are to go on to win the UWCL this year, I mean, obviously the Women's Euros is going to have a huge part to play in Ballon d'Or rankings, but Hansen, for me, has to be the favourite from Barcelona. And we all know who the actual favourite is because of public relations. Bonmati takes aim, that's blocked. And now cleared away in there by Dijkstra.
Well, yeah, it depends what Spain do. If Spain go on to win the Euros and Bonmati's a massive part of it, then fair enough. For Paredes.
She should win it. Catalina Cole.
Pina.
Lopez. In fact, all of the Barcelona. No, if Barcelona and Spain win everything, then the whole Barcelona should just get one collective Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
Apart from Esme Brooks, unlucky.
Yeah. But I do think that Hansen individually does deserve it.
Bonmati, that's blocked well. And now Wolfsburg will look to break. Brilliant from Euler Brand. Beats 1. Beats 2. Brilliant from Brand. Still going. And that's 1 too many as Hansen manages to pull her back.
Had to release it.
Brand's frustrated there because she was fouled for the first 2 players, but she kept going. And then Hansen's tackle was clean. Here's Eva Payor. Lifts it towards the back post. Poor ball though.
Just
Wolfsburg goal kick.
one too many from Brand. She does so well to take on 2 players, and then she's got 3 players all screaming at her to pass it. She's just got to release it. Waits too long and ends up getting pounced on. But she does so well to create the chance. Just then has to release it. Just try to take on too many players, which I like. I like a player that's got the confidence to try and beat 3 or 4 players. But once you're beaten 2, just play the ball to your teammate.
Indeed. Leon. Now Paredes. Here is Yana Fernandez. Goes back to Paredes, and Berenstein put the pressure on. Just about got away with it though. And that's really good there from Alexandra Pop, who nicks the possession off of Mape Leon. Still going now, shot from range, and that's safe. Well, it was actually Huth who won it back. Shot from range, saved by Catalina Cole.
Yeah, don't mind that. Only had one option that was being marked and realised she didn't have the pace to beat Leon. So just takes an effort. You never know. It's a shot on target.
Yeah, if it sails into the top corner, we're running around the room, but it doesn't quite.
Yeah, that goes in. It's one of the best goals we've seen in the Champions League.
Now I've got a green flare down here to let off. Fernandez. Only one though. Here's Handsome. Inside now to Patrick Ayaro. Ball lifted in behind. Ava Payor will get there. Plays it inside. And for some reason there, Vilms tried to leave it. I don't know why. With Paraluela lurking at the back post. Between her and the goalkeeper, though, they do realise they have to clear the ball away. But out is Barca back in possession. Putellas looks to deliver it. Payor takes aim. Saved well by Borba.
For Wolfsburg living dangerously. I think Vilms, I understand why she tried to leave it, but yeah, just don't take any risks. Put it out of play. Not a bad ball from Putellas. Payor does well just to step away from her opposing number. Just gives herself a yard. She'd expect to do better with the header though. Just heads it into the ground and bounces up.
The problem is she has to try and swing back and generate power rather than coming onto the ball. So it's a difficult one, but yeah, could have done better. You feel Bon Mati. Now Handsome. To take on Vedermeyer and does well. Could put it across the box now, blocked by Vedermeyer.
Well recovered because Vedermeyer got initially she got taken to the cleaners, but she does well to recover and a good recovering tackle. That initial burst from Hansen had her in all sorts of trouble.
Did well though, as you say, to recover that. Here was that chance again for Ava Payor. Again, almost a header back to the goalkeeper.
He bounced up perfectly for Bob just to come on and catch it.
Indeed. It's another corner now then for Barcelona. Leon over it.
I do like the centre half taking the set pieces. Brilliant.
Now does deliver it in towards the near post. It's a low ball. On back by Wolfsburg. Brand tries to head it on. That's just a Bon Mati though. Now Handsome. Picked off well by Huth there. Who does lose the ball. And she's going to keep clearing into Leon though. And that is a Barca throw. As it comes off Huth in the end. But she's just panicked.
Well, I felt like she kept trying to win a Wolfsburg throw. But the problem was it kept deflecting off Leon back into herself.
Yeah. Brut. Now Patrick Ayaro. Putellas. Leon. Now Putellas. Wants to take on Brand, and that comes off Brand's out for another corner.
Yeah, really good run from Putellas. Just darts into the empty space. Wolfsburg do well to recover. But again, Barcelona, you just feel like they're starting to build a bit of momentum now. They're getting further and further forward. They're getting better chances.
But Wolfsburg defending those wide areas really well at the moment.
Yeah.
And they're obviously conceding corners, which Barca can use. But do much to defend the wide spaces. Leon to Hansen. Back to Mape Leon. Ball in towards the near post again. It's cleared away. And now headed away by Huth. On Mati. Pass it across now to Fernandez. She'll let Paredes come and take the ball. Now Leon. Ayaro. Fernandez. Now it's Haitana Bonmati. Handsome. Fernandez. One back in there. by Brand. Transfer the ball forwards, cut out there by Fernandez. Now it's with Irene Paredes. Leon. Ball lifted forwards, looking for Caroline Graham-Hansen. And Wedemeyer does her best there just to see her out. And Barcelona feel aggrieved. But I think
it was a little
it was on the line, but it was fine, I think, just about from Wedemeyer.
Yeah, she has kind of just thrown herself at Hansen, but I think she's all right.
But he said, would Mafe Leon play as centre-back if she spent her career at any other club? I think at most clubs she would have been pushed into midfield at a young age. Yeah, but she's a very good defender, though, is the thing. As well, yeah, she's good in possession, but she's also a good defender. So, I think in that regard, it's difficult, but I don't think she would have. I think she still would have played defence.
What a ball.
Great ball in behind. Bonmati cuts it back, and it's in. It comes off the defender, I believe. Or Eva Payor, either way. It's Wolfsburg 0, Barcelona 1. A ball in behind. Bonmati squares it. And it's in the back of the net. Wolfsburg will feel frustrated. They felt they could have done better there. Barcelona, though, finding the breakthrough.
Yeah, really, really nice stuff. What a ball this is through the Bonmati. She just drifts into that space.
Allowed, yeah, to drift where she wants. And no one from Wolfsburg does anything about it. And then I think it does come off the defender there.
It's going to be a tight one. But what a ball that is into Bonmati's path. Does the right thing, just fires it across the area. And it's an own goal. And really, just
don't know what she's trying to do there. Going in with the knees, Dijkstra.
And it just bounced.
Just got to slide in and kick the ball away.
Yeah, just put it out for a corner. I don't know why you'd slide in on your knees. Giving it to Payor, but I'm not sure she touched it.
No, I don't know how she did. Perhaps she did, though. Either way, slide tackle, win the ball back. It's still 0-0. Huth. Now Minge.
That felt like it was coming. Passer of
lovely ball from Wedemeyer into Huth. Huth now tries to cut it back. Vutas there, though, to receive it. Fernandez gives it back to Paredes. It's cleared away. Now they look to break here. Barcelona, Vutas, Paraluelo. Now it's Brooks.
Barcelona got their tails up now.
Yeah. And that goal all comes from insanely good movement from Aitana Bonmati.
Yeah.
Wonderful deception. And again, she just floats around the pitch. Ball in now. Bonmati will try and get there. Claim by Borba.
Again, it's another... That run is just makes it difficult. She's just bursting into the area, into the space in between the centre half and the full-back. Or the wing-back. Does very well. But yeah, Barcelona are really up this now. They've built momentum. They've got the goal, which is crucial. Wolfsburg have now got to find an answer.
Here's Wedemeyer. Pop. Pass inside. Lost there, though, by Litgard. Gallardo. Strong tackling there from Alexandra Pop, and apparently that's a foul. I don't see it that way, but the ref will go over and have a word with her.
I think Pop's unlucky. I've been treated to have another look, but I thought she got more of the ball than she did of the player. She has just told. Oh no, it is a foul. She wasn't out with Jana Fernandez's contribution to the conversation and decided to shush her. Referee should tell her to calm down. Keep it calm.
Suffer asking where Fröms is. I'm not sure. She was on the bench last weekend, but they've just preferred Borba recently. So I'm not sure. Kathleen Nicole. Now Leon. Ball out wide into Esme Brooks. Here is Paraluelo. Gallardo on the ball. Back now to Mafe Leon.
I think it's Wolfsburg are now in a really tough spot because obviously they want to come back at Barcelona and level this game, but they can't risk really conceding again.
Paraluelo. Now Patrick Gallardo. Paredes. Finds Yana Fernandez. Bonmati, now Handsome. Goes back now to Paredes, now Leon. Paraluela, Leon. Here's Gallardo, back now to Leon, now Paredes. And now here come Barcelona. Fernandez. Bonmati. Fernandez. Bonmati. One back in there by Patrick Gallardo. Now Putellas. Putellas looks to deliver. Chance now for Barca. That's blocked away and then cleared away there by Linda.
Yeah, Barcelona moving it really well now. And just putting a lot of pressure onto Wolfsburg. Going to make it hard to maintain, really, to hold up against this kind of pressure.
Here come Barca. Shot from range. Into the gloves, though, of goalkeeper Borba.
Yeah, she'll take a minute now. Sensible. Your side have been under the cosh for a good portion now.
Yeah.
Just give your team a bit of time to get back in. Bit of rest. That is not the right thing to do, though. To throw it and box up into the corner.
Extra plays down the line. That's cut out, but it's out of play for a Wolfsburg throw.
The one thing you can't do against Barcelona is play yourself into trouble.
Yeah. Because that they will punish. Yes, now it's made Bruggt. Nice combination, one back in there by Litzgein. Barca play it forwards. I had a play now for a Barcelona throw. Much to the confusion there of Wolfsburg.
Referee didn't. No one knew was the problem. She didn't make a decision. Looked towards the lineswoman. Lineswoman didn't give her anything.
Yeah.
And well, like magic, she is now then given a very soft free kick to Wolfsburg. Evening things out, I think.
That goal has now gone down as a Dijkstra own goal.
Yeah, really poor. It's just again an orthodox body positioning to go in as a defender. Why, when you're defending, would you slide in, do a knee slide? It's like she's celebrating before she even put it in her own net.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure what she was trying to do there.
Barcelona, I mean, a second goal for the half would really put them into control.
Yeah, definitely. Here is Mape Leon. Where's Paredes? Now Yana Fernandez. Bonmati. Fernandez. Back now to Paredes. Now Mape Leon. Patrick Gallardo. Putellas. Here come Barca. And Hansen's the wide option. Hansen drifts inside. Fernandez now will overlap. Putellas plays it to her. Back now to Alexa Putellas. Lifted ball in behind for Caroline Graham Hansen. Put it into the box. That's cleared away though. For Putellas from range. Just out wide. Just outside of the goal there. From the edge of the box. Struck well on the half volley. Just wide of the mark.
Yeah, another good move from Barcelona. Putellas doesn't catch it too badly. It's just always bending away from the goal.
It's a great connection.
Yeah.
Yes, you say. Unlucky in that regard.
Just catches it really nicely. Oh. Closer than I first thought, to be fair.
Here's Barca, Bonmati, now Payor. Back to Fernandez. A lifted ball in behind. This one, though, won't be as dangerous as it will if it's touched down by Wolfsburg's Dijkstra. And then it's cleared away. I don't know what Dijkstra's doing this evening, though. That's another weird one. Just let that bounce through to the goalkeeper.
Keeper's called
it. Gives it to Hansen.
Don't know why she decided she needs to touch that. At the moment, she's Barcelona's best player.
Yeah.
Really bizarre decision making.
Ball sent forward. Berenstein, nice touch. Huge tackle from Patrick Gallardo.
That's a great tackle. Stops the ball getting the pop. Stops Wolfsburg breaking away. gained a lot of yards that throw. So he just kept walking up the line.
Wedemeyer loses it, passes ball. And ball in there, though. Off a Wolfsburg place, that will be a Barca free kick.
Again, they get that ball down. They want to move it quickly. They want to get this play moving.
Paoluelo loses possession. Pop. Linda. Huth. Back to Alexandra Pop. Who is forced back now. Wilms. Borva. Dijkstra. Now onto this left-hand side for Wolfsburg. Wedemeyer. Minge. Now Borba. Bernie asks, prime Putesha was a prime Bomati. Who is the better player?
Oh, that's a great question.
Ultimately, it comes down to preference, really. I think they're both talented individuals. So for me, it's Alexia Putellas. But they are very close. So
yeah,
if it comes down to preference, I'm not as big a fan as Putellas. That's poor from Wolfsburg, playing from the back. Lose the ball. Payor bearing it on goal, squares it, and I don't know why. Elite striker has to shoot there. Surely. That's poor.
I'm baffled by every decision made by everyone in that circumstance. Initially, I was so confused as to why no one in a Wolfsburg shirt decided to run across in front of the striker who was bearing it on goal.
So, got away with it because Payor didn't want to.
Payor had so much space. So why is she not just shot?
Then she squared it. Two players have made a run beyond her.
Could have been and should have been 2-0. Wolfsburg got away with one there. They all ran away from her.
Brooks into Payor. That's lost there. As your brand makes a big tackle. Berenstein competes well. Pass inside now to Litvine. Here's Minge. I feel he's going Bomati on that question. Well, Steele's saying Prime Putellas. So there you go. Split of opinion there in the live chat.
Yeah.
And also trying to play out again, almost get caught in possession.
Oh, it's another handball.
And a poor touch from Linda. Just anticipates that poorly.
Yeah, Wolfsburg can't start. If we get towards the end of the half, they can't start playing themselves into awkward positions and giving away silly free kicks or handballs and stuff like that.
No, not so.
Again, part here, pass gets picked out. Everyone just runs away from Payor. She's so I don't know why. Payor looks up 3 times. She's never thought to shoot there. She's always thinking about passing it.
You think a striker with that sort of deadly instinct just has a shot there.
It's like she doesn't want to score against her former side.
Barcelona put the ball and it's cleared away. It's going to fall now to Yana Fernandez. Gallardo. Now back to Paredes. Leon. Here's Yana. Nice playing it down the line. Back now to Yana Fernandez. A 1-2 and then a pass back again to Patrick Gallardo. Paredes. Leon. Into Paoluelo. Lovely from Leon to play that in behind. Not dealt with well by Wilms. Chance now for Salma Paoluelo. Forced back now. Brooks. On the edge is Alexia Putellas. Now it's with Barcelona coming forwards. Almost rotating that ball. Moving it out to the fullback. Overlapping there, Fernandez. Ball in, but Mate struggles to get that down, and that will be a Wolfsburg ball. Cleared forward, Berenstein trying to hold on to it, competing for it. Bonmati wins it back. Barcelona here with a sustained period of attacking play. Wolfsburg just struggling into this half. That's cleared away though now.
Feels like it's going to be a long 5 or 6 minutes now for Wolfsburg. They've got to hang in there. They've got to hold on. Find that last burst of energy. Cannot afford to fall behind.
No.
By 2 goals.
Throwing now for Barcelona on the far side. Gallardo. Johnny Fernandez. Now Hansen. Puteas trying to slide it through. That's cut out again.
They're doing well. They've just got to... Wolfsburg will be in management mode. There's 2 balls on the pitch. But I don't know what happened there. Handball by Hansen. Wolfsburg will get a free kick and a chance to just take all the pressure off. Yes, it's an unfortunate one. It's an accidental one, but it is handball.
Yeah. Minge. Litvine. Brand. Now Minge. And Minge. Trying to bring that ball forward. Pass it out to Brand. Tries to cut inside. One back there by Hansen. Lifted forwards. And that is cleared away with relative ease there by Wilms. Ball back now to goalkeeper. Borba, who sends it forwards. So it can another clearance. At the moment, they're just playing a big game of foot tennis.
Yeah. But I think if you're a Wolfsburg fan, you don't really mind at this point in the game. Just keep kicking up in the air. They can't score the balls, pat your feet in the air.
Well, even them.
Header.
If it's a drop, then just volley it home.
Yeah. Again, I like the fact Wolfsburg are trying to play out, but if it is just going to be too risky, if it is going to cause them issues, then just put your foot through it.
Yeah.
Especially this late in the half. With 3 minutes to go, you don't want to have Barcelona penning you in. But they're doing all right at the moment to manage it. They've responded well to going 1-0 down.
Here is Paralluelo that has deemed to have gone off for a pass or throw. Brooks. Leon into Bonmati. Bonmati. Back to Esme Brooks. Gallardo. Lovely turn from Italo Bonmati. Now Paralluelo. Ball in. That's cleared away in there by Wilms.
Big touch from Wilms. Does well to cut that out before it could reach the on-rushing Payot. Wolfsburg backs against the wall for the last couple of minutes of this half. Very important as well. But they do hold on.
Yeah, definitely. Calling out again, as you say. Barcelona racking them up in this half. Hansen goes short. Cut back now to Hansen. Puts it on the edge to Bonmati. He'll open it up. Take aim, and that's blocked.
No one.
Still alive though for Barcelona here.
No one got nearer. Let off for Wolfsburg. They've really not dealt with the short corners from Barcelona. They've been too late to get out to them. You think now, even though it's going to happen, just make someone just sit there. Designate someone to be the one to go out there.
Wow, a stark difference in the statistics. 99 passes from Wolfsburg in that first half. 288 from Barca. Night and day, really.
I hope Wolfsburg complete one more before half time so they can get to
Paralluelo. Ball in. Hansen just over. Jan fans will rush to gut to try and keep this in. But can't.
They've got to give them one more pass. Let them get to a nice 100 and then call it half time.
Yeah.
It's not a bad ball in. Hansen wasn't far from it.
Ball forward from Wolfsburg. Leon there, Alfredo, sorry, under no pressure. She's out for a throw.
Yeah, Berenstein she's done well because she's trying to cause some issues up there, but she is feeding off scraps.
Yeah.
Nothing clear cut for her to run onto or pounce on, but
It's a difficult one. You know, Barcelona are just so strong. Ball forwards, header down there from Janina Mensch. Now launched looking for Lynette Berenstein, who will keep battling. And that is deemed offside, though.
I love how even if Berenstein gets half a chance to try and get on the end of something, she busts her gut to get there, throws her body at it, and just sees what happens. I really like the commitment, really, really strong. Because at some point that could pay off.
Another minute of additional time in this first half. Here is Mape Leon. Now Paraluelo. Nice football from Barcelona. Seen out now for a throw. I think Britas. Oh, she'll take it around. Look like she was going to give it to Esme Brooks. Payor, nice hold up. Paraluelo. Vuteas, ball in from Brooks. That's blocked. Now it's with Alexia Vuteas. Cleared forward. Paredes now. Bonmati. Wants to cut the line but can't quite get the angle on that pass. We'll go back now to Janina Minge. Roughly. Now coming forwards. Puteas knocks it wide. Chance now for Barcelona. Paoluelo puts it in there looking for Aitana Bonmati. That's now headed away by Pop. And that's it, half time here at the Volkswagen Arena. Wolfsburg 0, Barcelona 1. It was a half in which the action was all at one goal mouth, and it was all on Wolfsburg's goal. Barcelona kept probing and eventually found their breakthrough with an own goal. It was been attributed by some to Eva Payol, but I find that hard to agree with.
Yeah, it's that they got their goal. I think that's the main thing for Barcelona. They played some really, really good stuff in complete control of that first 45 minutes. For Wolfsburg, they've done well, I think, to keep it at 1. Very easy that once Barcelona get 1, that the floodgates can open and they can start to compound the misery. But overall, not too shabby from Wolfsburg. They're still in the game. That's the important bit. You never know if they get something. They can get something against the run of play in the second half, then suddenly they could level this game up. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, indeed. It was a first half where I think there wasn't a whole load of shots. All of the chances went Barcelona's way. Also did a really good job of limiting Barca putting the ball into the box, getting in front of those crosses, and so we saw a lot of corners. But overall, there wasn't a load of shots from Barcelona. I think the second half they are looking to add a few goals to their game. They're going to want to get a few more shots away, but 8 shots, but only 2 on target. So a lot of were either speculative efforts or efforts that were blocked. So they weren't really able to get clean shots away. The ones they did get, Payor, which was obviously saved well from close range by Borba. But yeah, overall, I think Barca the dominant side, but they need to start turning that into better shot creating opportunities. Wolfsburg doing a really good job though of limiting Barca in those areas. Obviously, they're unfortunate with how the goal's gone in, but I think what Wolfsburg have got to take from that first half is that this would be 0-0 if it wasn't for a mistake. And so I think, yes, they're in a tough spot now, but they've got to take some belief in that first 45 minutes and see what they can do in the second half. They can't afford to go into half-time deflated, dejected. They've got to come out in the second half with renewed energy. I'm going to take a quick break and then I'll leave you to give your thoughts on the first half.
Yeah, I think Wolfsburg, as you say, they've got to in the football match because they've been in it and they've played well and they have shown that if they can get the ball into a decent attacking area, they could potentially take advantage. So I think that there is potential that they could get themselves back into this game. Even if they score a goal but still lose 2-1, they still keep themselves in the tie. Burnley Arsenal 2-0 incoming. I definitely could see that happening. If it's another close half but Barcelona managed to add a goal to their tally, then yeah, I definitely could see another 2-0, which would be really weird if we are to go on to see every quarter-final end 2-0 and be 2-0 on aggregate to one of the sides. Obviously, Real Madrid beating Arsenal by 2-0. Sorry to remind all the Arsenal fans here. And Lyon beating Bayern Munich by 2-0. So Barcelona, they will look to do a similar thing. I think that the difference between being 1-0 up on aggregate and being 2 or 3-0 up on aggregate is absolutely massive. because if Barcelona only win 1-0 tonight, all it takes is Wolfsburg to get a lucky goal in the second leg, and then suddenly it goes to extra time penalties. But if Barcelona are 2-3-0 up, then suddenly, Wolfsburg are going to have to pull out the performance of a lifetime to get anything from this tie. So the objective for Barcelona will be to get themselves into a really, really comfortable position going into the second leg, and hope that they can, at that point they can rest. Obviously, they have got the El Clasico on Sunday against Real Madrid. I will be live for that one, so make sure if you're a Barcelona fan, or if you just want to tune in on Sunday, make sure to tune in for that El Clasico, a game that Barcelona will look to win. If they win that, they put themselves 10 points clear at the top of Liga F. So that will be the aim. But overall, I think that they've played very, very well. Yes, the goal was a bit fortuitous, but they've still been the dominant side. They've had all of the ball and all of the chances, and Wolfsburg have come forward very, very rarely, but there's still a decent chance that they could potentially nick something on the counter-attack. Philly says, I think Wolfsburg need to be more decisive when they win it back. The plan is clear to see, but they aren't moving quick enough when they do get it back. Yeah, I agree. I think there's been a few moments where they've won it back in their own third and haven't really managed to get out. There's been a couple times where, like, I think Eula Brand is one where she's got on the ball, managed to take on one or two players, but then rather than release it up the field, just tries to take on one too many and ends up losing the ball again. They've got to be sharper with how they're using possession, because they're getting limited opportunities on the ball, which means that when they do get the ball, they have to start utilising it more. Because as we saw, as we've seen many times in these sides where you've got a big side dominating the ball and a weaker opposition who don't get many opportunities, it's one of those where if Wolfsburg can start to use the ball better, they are going to get more opportunities, and that could definitely favour them at some point in this game. All it takes, you get one goal on the counter attack, and they level this game up, come out hard and fast in the second half, stun Barcelona. But that's the kind of thing it's going to take now for Wolfsburg to get back into this tie. If we're being realistic, it's going to be another second half where Barcelona are having more of the ball and they're still having a lot of chances and keeping this Wolfsburg side under a lot of pressure. So it's up to Wolfsburg now to upset the apple cart and to try and add something different into this game, find a way to combat Barcelona. Yes, Barcelona can have the ball, but that doesn't mean that Wolfsburg aren't going to come forward. So you can win games, you can get results by only having 25-30% of the possession, and it's just about Wolfsburg utilising the ball and just being a little bit sharper with it. When you win it back, don't give it away straight away. Don't rush it forward. Don't just lump it, to just up front and hope that someone manages to run onto it. Try and use it. Try and do something smart with it. Because if they can start getting the ball into Beerenstein's feet, if they can try and get Pop and Brand into the game more, then they can hurt Barcelona.
Yeah, it's one of those where obviously Barcelona were the better side in the first half, but to say that they were miles and miles better than Wolfsburg is, I think, disingenuous. It's a half where Barca had a lot of chances, but not clear-cut ones. I think the only clear-cut chances were the goal and Payol's header. Other than that, they really struggled to get shots away, really struggled to shots at the goalkeeper, really struggled to make Borbay work. So I think Wolfsburg in that regard did what was asked of them, but the problem is they conceded a goal they really shouldn't have. I'm not sure what Dijkstra was doing with this one. We're going to see a replay here. I mean, Bonmatí puts it in there. Dijkstra, I just don't get it.
See, it's
lead with the boots, clear the ball out. It's out for a corner. You reset then. I mean, it's brilliant from Bonmatí. Take nothing away from her. Phenomenal movement. So difficult for the defence and Minge to do anything about. I don't know what Dijkstra's doing. Yeah,
I don't get why you're sliding with your knees, and then it's even unlucky the fact that Borb doesn't manage to keep it out. She reacts well, get to hand to it, just manage to tip it into his net.
It's impressive how Dijkstra manages to knee it up.
Yeah, if she knees it, if it doesn't go as up as it does, it would have just hit Borba in the face, or it should have been able to just save it or catch it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the aim would have been for Wolfsburg to probably play a little bit more defensively, play a little bit safe, get to half time at 0-0, and then try and build on it. The fact they conceded will be frustrating. The fact it was an own goal will be even more annoying. But they've got to work on it. They're still in the game, and that is the main thing. And at the end of the day, if they keep it at only 1-0 down, they give themselves a chance next week. So I think it's one of those where, do they try and win it back, and get the goal back, or do they just play it safe, don't risk it, and try and not hold on to one? I hate saying it like that, but be conservative about it.
Chance on 35 minutes, should pay off shot.
100%. I mean, they look up, you can see the Wolfsburg defenders just run away from her.
Well, the problem is, Films realises she's not going to be able to get across in time, and if she moves, then she's going to just leave it as an easy pass across. So she's torn between two, and then Dijkstra was recovering behind her. So, if Payor delayed and then took a shot, potentially Dijkstra gets back in there. Now, Sapphire, I think that's a good point here, saying, I feel like Barca are missing that spark they've had in previous seasons. I don't know if it's the teams have learnt how to play against them, or if something is missing. I think it's a little bit of both. You've gone from an incredibly confident, incredibly well-coached team under Graudes, and I'm not saying that, I think in terms of tactics it's very similar under Poirier Romeu, but there will be a difference in how that's delivered. There will be a difference in how he responds to, difficulties and how he wants his teams to play in individual games. So there are slight differences. And of course there will be slight different tactics. I mean, most of it is similar. I think there is a bit more of a reliance on build-up in the wide areas this season rather than chance creation through the middle.
Yeah.
So there has been that shift. But I think overall, it's more that other sides have got better. I think the overall level of out of possession football has increased so much in the last few years. Teams have better managers who have the ability now to play out of possession style, who coach their teams to play that way. So when Barca play against those sides always would go defensive against Barca, but the difference is it's now shifted from teams who want to play very defensive, very, on the back foot, sat in your own penalty area, to what is more, counter-pressing in some situations, which puts them under pressure. It's a much more narrow, compact system rather than just everyone's deeper. So I think in that regard, it's more difficult now. And the way a lot of top sides have gone against that or tried to cope with that is by focusing on playing the ball wide. We've seen Chelsea do it, we've seen City do it, we've seen Barcelona do it. It's how the elite teams are trying to handle that. I mean, even Lyon as well, very much using the width in their game against Bayern yesterday. So it's just sort of how tactics evolve naturally. And now what's going to be really interesting to see is what do these elite teams do now? Because I think we're starting to see that when they play the ball out wide, at the moment they're getting away with it, because you'll have moments like that, or there'll be a mistake that they can capitalise on. But I think it's really interesting when elite sides play against each other, how they then play. But when there is a clear underdog, it is now making it very difficult. They are now very good at making it difficult for the top side.
Yeah, and I mean, it's exciting, especially from a neutral point of view, because it means that when you get those games where there is a clear stronger opponent, it's not just how many are they going to score. It's going to it's going to be a landslide victory. It makes it really competitive, which is why the things like the Champions League have got harder for Barcelona, because it's not just like for the group stage, for example, it's not just they turn up, they roll over 3 teams, batter them 6 times, and get through on 18 points with a ridiculous goal difference, and then they get to the knockouts, and again, it's not really they don't really get tested until they get to the semis and the final. But now you've got sides beating them in the group stage, and it's not just Barcelona, or even sides make it more difficult for Lyon, sides make it more difficult for Chelsea. It's good to see that the bigger sides are really starting to be tested more. Wolfsburg, I think tonight they're like to potentially test Barcelona a little bit more, especially to put some more pressure onto that back line. Bar the rogue shot from Hoof, Cole hasn't touched the football tonight.
No, and I mean, that was their only shot, but they have had 100% shot accuracy, so that is something. But it's one of those. I think it's the problem at the moment with the tactical evolution in the women's game is that a lot of the time, because it's quite even, the game relies on either individual quality or mistakes.
Yeah.
In this game we saw a mistake from Dijkstra. In in the Bayern game yesterday, we saw mistakes lead to goals, lead to penalties. So the problem is it's now relying on individual errors or individual moments, and I think it's going to be really interesting now to see which manager can evolve their tactics.
Yeah.
Because if they can do that, suddenly you take a huge leap in the women's game. If you and it's of the elite teams, because I feel that the lower teams just have to play this one style or at least a very similar brand of football in order to try and get something. So which of the elite teams now, which manager's going to step up and do something a little bit different? Yeah. That's what's going to be the big question now, because I think a lot the three sides, Barca, Chelsea, Lyon, who I would say are now pushing ahead of everyone else, or at least Bayern. Barca, and Lyon have for years. I think Chelsea are now moving into that bracket. The question mark is which of those three and which of the sides who are just below them, like your Bayerns, and maybe you could put City, Arsenal in that. In fact, everyone in the Champions League quarters really.
Yeah.
Which of those sides now will be able to figure out? Will do something interesting tactically that will then break this sort of cycle.
Well, I think, at the end, we see it, especially in the men's game, and we're yet to see it incredibly in the women's game. Tactics can go quite a way to bridging what can sometimes be a quality gap. You might not have the personnel and the quality that one side possess, but if you have a tactic that is going to beat them, then it can start to bridge that gap. It can level the playing field.
I think we're seeing it more in the WSL, where the smaller sides tend to have at least one player who is really competitive, who is at that top level, which I think is the difference and what sets the WSL aside from other leagues, where it's just impossible for those clubs to get those kind of players.
Brighton are the best example. They've come yes, I think they invested well and they did bring in some better players. Their side are better, but the way that Vidicic has come into play and the way they set up tactically has kind of thrown a curveball a little bit to some teams. It's why they've had such a positive season. But that change can bridge gaps. It can make it difficult for any side in the league.
Yeah. Players back out for the second half now. Charlemagne Andres, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly there, said, I like Barcelona's formation in this match. Yeah, I think they've done really well to control the game and dictate the tempo. But the question is now, can they push on, find a few goals, kill this task before they go to the Johan Cruyff Stadium next midweek, sorry. That's the big question. Anyway, back to get underway in this second half. Ref blows a whistle. Wolfsburg knock it back, and we're back underway here at the Volkswagen Arena. Can Wolfsburg get back in this game? Can Barca get a few? Or will they just see out this 1-0 result? That's what remains to be seen. And well, it's initially Barcelona coming forward. Bonmati clipped there by Alexandra Pop, and the referee will have a conversation and we'll see her go into the book early on into this second half then. Which I feel is a little harsh. I know Pop's had a few fouls, but have they accumulated a yellow card?
Yeah, to be fair to Pop, she's very understanding. It's not a good tackle at all.
That one was late, to be fair.
But yeah, I'd respect that from Pop. She accepts it. She puts a foul to the referee, takes it on the chin.
Yeah.
Does well to stop an attack, though, because Bonmati was bursting away into space. Because Barcelona started very, very fast.
Here is Mappe Leon. Now Puteas. That's a ball into a dangerous area, not dealt with by Wolfsburg, and that goes close for Barca.
Wow.
No one reacted. No one reacted to the ball into the box. And that was almost a free header in the end for Aitana Bonmati, but it just about dealt with in there by Wolfsburg. Everyone let it bounce. It was Litvine who came in and dealt with it, I think.
It wasn't actually Bonmati who came in. I thought it was a wide header from Bonmati, but no.
Litvine did get the last time, did manage to intercept in the end, but there was 3 Wolfsburg players who let that bounce in there.
I think it was the way that also it was heading towards her own net that made it look very precarious.
Yeah, corner now for Barca then. Caroline Graham-Hansen goes short. Now Leon. Here's Hansen. Leon again. Back to Hansen. Ball now delivered in there. Headed away by Wolfsburg.
Better. Dealt with that short corner much better.
Now Bonmati tries to keep it alive. Cleared away there.
They've actually got someone actually running out into
Fernandez competing with Berenstein. That's seen out well there by Fernandez. Berenstein thinks that came off. Jana Fernandez. No one. No, it is given the way of Barca. Here's Leon. Have to hold on to possession now, Barcelona. Puteas. He's going to play that in behind, looking for the run of Salma. Paraluelo brought down well in there. Ball going up the line. Strong challenge from Mappe Leon. Falls for Huth. Ball clipped forwards. Leon. Another header one in there by Wilms. Falls now to Aitana Bonmati. And now Linda trying to carry that ball forwards, but it falls to Mape Leon. Now it's Paredes to Brooks. Brilliant battling in there from Huth. I think that's been given now as a Wolfsburg free kick.
That's...
Oh, no.
Oh,
And the way the referee was running over and the way that Huth was pulled off the pitch there by Esme Brooks, I thought that might be given, but alas. Ball forwards, tries to chest that ball down. Now it's Linda. Litvine, that's brilliant. That's brilliant from Berenstein. Just can't quite get back round. But she spins the player. There's more space in behind there. She gets there. But
it's a really good piece of attacking and defending, because Berenstein does well initially, let it run, catches Paredes out. But Paredes does well because she steps right and just means that Berenstein has to do a longer loop to get back round to the ball, and it just means that she wasn't going to get there.
No, it gave Catalina Kohler, who I think had the time anyway, but it gave her more time. She had to come out and collect the ball. Here come Barcelona, ball chipped in behind. Payor gets a brilliant touch on Hansen, bearing in, but it's a brilliant interception from Dijkstra. Also, Paralluelo's shot blocked, and that's out for another Barcelona corner. They're racking up the corners this evening. That's their 8th of the game now.
Yeah, I think Arsenal got up to 7 last night, 7-8-0 on corners.
Nothing compared to, who was it the weekend? Who racked up 17 in the WSL?
Aston Villa against Crystal Palace.
I think it was.
17 corners, it was absurd, because Palace basically kept smashing the ball out of a corner.
Yeah, it was 17 corners. Palace had 47 clearances. Well, it is Hansen and Leon over this corner then. Played short into Hansen, who now will give it back to Leon. Ball into the box, and it's there! It's touched home! It's Irene Paredes, and it's Wolfsburg 0, Barcelona 2. And you felt it was coming, that eventually they'd get a goal from these corner routines. And it's a smart one. Leon just fizzes out the goal, and it's poked in by Paredes. And at that close range, it's difficult for the keeper to do anything about it.
Yeah, really good. Again, the short corners have caused problems every single time. They've always got a ball in from one of them. Leon just fires it across, and Paredes reacts the quickest.
Touchdown well by Paredes. I'm just not sure Wolfsburg knew how to handle that.
No.
Wilms tries to step in. Dijkstra just seems to be stood still in there, caught flat-footed. Paredes reacts quickly and tucks it home.
Yeah, someone's just got to step in front of it, but it's smart from Leon. She just fires it into a dangerous area and gambles that one of her teammates will react quickest, and that's exactly what happened. And Barcelona now 2 to the good. Huge goal that. So early out of the break, puts themselves in a really, really good position.
Yeah, indeed. All City and Chelsea teams are out now. Wolfsburg in possession. City side, Yamashita in goal. Kasparov, Pryor, Alexandri, Uwahabi, Rord, Hasegawa, Park. Front three of Caroline, Fowler, Murphy. That is a rotated side for City. It feels like they
haven't got a choice.
No, I know, but it could have been Viviana Miedemar through the middle.
Oh yeah,
strong rotation, heavy rotation. Sorry, from City. You've got to feel like they are putting all their eggs in the double cell basket for the Sunday.
Yeah, potentially.
Which I get in a sense, but Chelsea should look at that side tonight and feel that they can beat them.
Yeah, I mean it's still a very, very good team, but yeah, I think with Shaw and Fagino out, there was always going to be a tough front three anyway.
Chelsea side: Hampton, Bronze, Bjorn, Bright, Baltimore, Cuthbert, Walsh, Pivot, Beaver Jones, Macario, Lauren James, and then Ramirez leading the line.
Yeah, again, pretty nailed on that for Chelsea.
Yeah, Walsh coming in, Beaver Jones coming in. Other than that, it's the same side that beat them in the League Cup final. Ball in from Wolfsburg now as they look to try and create some set-piece confusion of their own. And while their defensive confusion, though, it's going to leave them exposed here to Barcelona on the counter-charge. Payor into Bomati. They've recovered back quickly here, Wolfsburg, but it's now Paralluelo brings it down, takes aim, and it's in. And it's Wolfsburg 0, Barcelona 3. They cut them open on the counter. And that feels like Wolfsburg's chances of progression are gone now. Barcelona broke quickly. Wolfsburg tried to make something happen from the set piece, but Barca broke quickly And it's Paralluelo's deflected effort that goes in.
Yeah, Barcelona running right at the calamity at the back for Wolfsburg, clearing it into each other.
I did have a slight question as to whether this hit Paralluelo's arm when she brings
Yeah.
it down, but we'll have a look.
I think it was too high.
No, it was her chest. Huge deflection for the goal.
Just errors creeping in now for Wolfsburg. It's just all the goals.
Sends ball by the wrong way.
All the goals have been quite bizarre tonight. We've seen an own goal, a deflected goal, and a corner routine that was always coming. But Barcelona are in cruise control now. And it's gone from 1-0 at half time to being a decent contest 8 minutes later, and Barcelona have gone clear. It's what they do. So when they reach that level, when they just turn it up a couple notches, you just can't. No team in the world can handle
Right
it.
down there, that's a foul.
Well, Wolfsburg, it's a difficult position now. It's hard to negotiate when you're 3-0 down in the first leg of a quarter-final.
Yeah, Felix's decision to shoot a pop in the way was pure panic. Yeah, it just falls to the... I can't remember. I didn't see who it was on the edge of the box, but it drops them and they see the Barcelona players rushing forwards and just smash it. Yeah. Unless it doesn't come off. They are now going to have another chance to put the ball into the box now. Headed across, and that is Putas who clears it. And now Barca looking to break again. Paralluelo tries to get that important header from Wedemeyer. Linda. Dijkstra tries to take on Brugge out now for a throw. It's one of those. It's frustrating. Wolfsburg have allowed this game to get silly now. Because they're in a position where that realistically they're not going to. It doesn't look like they're going to score tonight, and they're not going to get four goals or even 3 goals against Barcelona at their place. So it feels, for all intents and purposes, that this tie is over now. Yeah,
they're in a situation where they have to score at least 1 tonight now in the last 35 minutes and not concede again.
And here come Barcelona, but there is a foul in there, and Bonmati just does admit fault there. She brought down Litvine.
Yeah, there was a clip. There was 2 hands in the back. There was a very easy foul to give.
Yeah, indeed.
Catches her on the heel, pushes her over. Payor was bursting away, but yeah, definite free kick that.
Yeah, indeed.
Still a long way to go, and that's the thing. If Wolfsburg can nick it, that's the problem. I think Wolfsburg could potentially get a goal against run of play, but I think Barcelona have also got at least 1 more goal in them as well.
What I do find funny, by the way, about that is that was Bonmati's 3rd foul of the game, which is the same number Pop has made, and yet no yellow card brandished there by the referee.
Yeah, but I think Pop's second one was
the third one from Pop was a foul, but I just find it interesting.
Yeah, but I think it's more that Pops was stopped Bonmati bursting away, whereas Bonmati's, in that one there was Wolfsburg aren't going anywhere.
Yeah. Leon sends it forwards. Putas tries to let that run through. One back well by Dijkstra. Leon sends it forward.